Hello there. This is going to be the bonus video for Virgo Sun, Moon, and Rising sign for the month of July in 2018. And so I'm going to start off with love and relationships for Virgo Sun, Moon, and Rising sign in the best, highest good. I'm going to pick 6 cards. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to pick one remedy card. Okay, I actually need to take a break just for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here are your cards for love and relationships. The first one on the top is the King of Pentacles. The second one after that on the top is the World. After that, your final card on the top is the Eight of Pentacles. On the bottom, you have the Queen of Wands. This reminds me of your general reading. I believe you had the King of Wands as your central focus for July. After the Queen of Wands, on the bottom, is the Ace of Cups. This is really beautiful to get in a romance and relationship reading. Following that is the Five of Cups. And because the last 2 cards are telling me a specific story, I picked a clarifier to go with that. And here he is again, the Knight of Swords. I believe you had him in your general reading, in the position of your best possible outcome, I believe. So this actually has a lot of information in it and a lot of different scenarios. So I'm just going to try to blurt out all of the scenarios possible. So one possibility is that you are a male Virgo watching who is feeling like the King of Pentacles these days. But you may be involved with a Queen of Wands type individual. Or it can also be saying that you are trying to cultivate your inner Queen of Wands while maintaining what you have to maintain. So I'm getting that there's a difference here between male and female Virgos watching. Perhaps the male Virgos are actually doing quite well for themselves and feeling quite stable in their lives, and they may be interested or already involved with a Queen of Wands type character. And that can be someone who's very fiery, extroverted, creative, knows what she wants, goes out after what she wants. And this is just talking about straight relationships. This can also apply with bisexual or homosexual relationships as well. So, or you could be the King of Pentacles. You could be the Queen of Wands yourself, and you are attracting another partner who is much more grounded, down to earth, and calm, rather than exuberant, super active and creative, and a leader. This can also be saying that you could be either already involved in a relationship or about to be involved in a relationship where the partner that you're with shows both these qualities. Someone who's grounded, practical, good with money or business, someone who tends to stay calm, but also someone who has an inner fire of creativity and leadership ability. And another thing that I'm getting is you may either have to lay down what your expectations are to this person that you're with so that they can meet your needs more, or you may need to speak up in the relationship concerning balance between both of your needs in the relationship, of what are the expectations, and then how are you going to go about doing those expectations or fulfilling them. So the next two is the World, and underneath the World, let's see if I can angle this properly, is the Ace of Cups. So for those of you who are single and haven't been in a relationship at all, this is saying that you have finally mastered your ability to stay grounded, practical, create abundance for yourself, and maintain your boundaries and go about going after the things that you enjoy in your life. Basically, you feel much more self-sufficient now than possibly ever before, or you finally know what it is that you want or expect from relationships. And because you've learned these lessons, you are actually graduating your karmic cycle with relationships, and you're attracting to yourself a new relationship that mirrors your recently clearly defined expectations or desires when it comes to what you want in a relationship. I'm getting a lot in here about equal power and equal respect, but also a need to do your own thing in with the need for connection and security. So it feels like because you finally are fully aware of what you truly want, you're attracting this to yourself. And you may be meeting new people that show that you have evolved because they are completely different from the kinds of people that you used to attract. This can also mean that you're falling in love with someone who shows Taurian qualities and Arian qualities, or someone who is independent, straightforward, and honest, and knows what they want, and with someone who is practical, grounded, and calm, and does well for themselves financially, or at least is stable. So that's excellent, you guys. And if this is an existing relationship that's been going on for a long time, I see that whatever lessons you needed to learn together in your relationship, you have learned them, and you are recently falling in love with each other all over again and renewing the love in the relationship and thinking about things you would possibly like to do with each other or places you would like to go in the world together. So in the future with relationships, and I'm not looking at this as a huge blockage at all. This seems temporary to me. And this is clearly to me speaking of your work and how your work is somehow interfering with your relationships. Either possibly you feel too burdened by responsibilities or things you have to do that you're not even sure if you have enough time for a relationship. Or there's something going on at work that needs to be addressed where you're really just not happy. And your clarifier for these two is the Knight of Swords, which is about speaking up or dealing with confrontational, difficult people. So there may be something going on at work that you feel you need to speak up about, that you are unhappy about that is somehow stealing energy or time from you being able to cultivate your relationships more. This needs to be addressed because it feels like it's exhausting you. Another way to read this is that you have done a lot of work spiritually and mentally and physically on what you will or will not accept with the relationships. You've done a lot of work on overcoming past disappointments with relationships, where now you have learned how to speak up more in relationships, so you're less likely to be taken advantage of or be misunderstood, because you are much more straightforward about what it is that you need or what it is that you really need to communicate. This could also mean that in some relationships that are already existing, that work either on your partner's end or on your end is interfering with the relationship. Perhaps your partner is working too much and doesn't necessarily have time for you anymore the way that you would like. And so you've had to speak up to them and say, hey, you know, you're working so much now that I barely ever see you anymore. And this is really taking away my sense of security in the relationship, and I really need you to be around, or at least to pay attention to me. So, and this could be flipped. It could be the other way around too. You could be working so much that your partner is speaking up and saying, hey, I feel like you don't even care about me anymore. So either way, this needs to be addressed so that you can move forward. But because you have such wonderful cards as your first four, I'm seeing this as annoying things that are in the way and nothing that actually threatens the relationship, if there is one. If there isn't a relationship, things are set up for you now to meet new people and branch out more, where you can be accepted for who you are and honored for who you are and seen by a partner or a potential partner. But you need to possibly get out of this work situation or deal with this work situation so that you can create more room in your life for this new love to blossom. So hopefully that made sense to you. And on to the next section. Hello again. This will be your section for jobs, money, and career for Virgo Sun, Moon, and Rising sign for the month of July in 2018. So we'll see what's going on. Seems like between the general reading and even the last reading, there's something going at work that needs to be addressed. So we'll see what this says. Okay, there goes the King of Wands again. This is interesting. Alright, this seems pretty straightforward. On the top row, the first of the top three is the Princess of Pentacles. Following that is the Nine of Pentacles. So far, so good. Both of these are very good money and work related cards to get. The final one on the top is the Ace of Wands. Didn't you just get this for love too? Or something? On the bottom row, there's the Five of Cups again. You have the Six of Cups after that. And your final one is the King of Wands again. It definitely seems to be talking about a specific message. So I'm just going to throw it out there. If you happen to work with children, there's something going on where a particular child, you feel as though they are either not being taken care of the way that they should, or the child is displaying emotional problems that may lead you to believe that there's either something going on at home or there's something going on in the workplace where this child is not having their needs met properly, or their needs are just so intense that you or the other people you work with may not have the time or ability to be able to address it properly. That aside, another way to read this is that if you do have children, something about your work situation, or possibly you working too much, or you focusing on work, your child feels as though their emotional needs are not being met because you are not there as much as they would like you to be, or if you are there, you're not completely being present with them. That's another way to read this. Another way to read this is that in the past you were disappointed with some kind of work situation you had, and so you decided to go into maybe a new avenue, a new job, or a new way of doing it, or possibly being transferred to a different spot. So the next one after that is the Nine of Pentacles, which is about being self-sufficient and being patient and devoted to what you're trying to manifest so that it can manifest in its best possible timing. And, you know, according to money and jobs and career, this looks like you're solid and you necessarily don't have to worry about having enough money, or you're already established in whatever it is that you're doing and you're able to provide for yourself well. But underneath that, there's the Six of Cups. So this may be saying that even though you may be self-sufficient with what you do, you still long for a deep connection with someone else, possibly that you've met that feels like a soulmate. This is if you're single, by the way. Or you may possibly have an old friend or an old lover coming to visit you, or you may be thinking about visiting a beautiful place with the person that you're with that reminds you of something to do with the past. Maybe it's something that you've done before in the past. Maybe it's a place that you both visited a long time ago that you haven't visited since then, and you're thinking of taking time out from work to be able to go on this trip or journey, or to rekindle something from the past. This can also be something about being self-sufficient is old for you, and you're more looking into possibly being in more of a social situation with jobs, money, or career, rather than being so alone possibly with what you do. So the next one is the Ace of Wands, which is a total new beginning, a new way of doing something, or it could be a new job entirely. If it's not a new job and you're still in the same field, this is saying you are feeling re-inspired to reintroduce new dreams, new goals, or new action steps to what you already do. You may be thinking about being more in a leadership role, because the bottom card is the King of Wands, which is all about confidence, ability to be able to talk with different kinds of people, ability to organize, manage, and properly run things. So this could be a new position or a new job where you are in a much better place to be able to be in a manager role or a leader in what you're doing. You may even be discovering a new method that is your method alone that hasn't been introduced to anything yet. I'm getting a lot in here about innovation, new ideas, and possibly experimenting with old methods to come up with new methods that are even more productive. If you happen to be in a relationship with a King of Wands type of character, this says that whatever was going on with them or you feeling as though they worked too much or you worked too much and you don't see each other as much as you would like, this will be resolved and you'll be able to figure it out. So I think that's all that really needs to be said about that. It looks great. It looks like whatever was going on that was causing you to feel worry or discontent with what you do, it will be resolved, especially if you speak up or if you take more of a leadership role in the situation. I also got something in here earlier about in the past you may have been in relationships where you were too independent or they were too independent or you weren't independent enough. And now that you are independent, you want to go back to a particular way of feeling or being in relationships where you're able to meet the needs of the other person now better than before because you are more self-sufficient. If that makes any sense. Okay, we'll go on to the next section. Hello, Virgo. Here is your health section. Mental, emotional, and physical health. Are there any messages that Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant needs to hear that is in their highest good? Let's see. Okay. There it is again. I accept it. Okay. Okay. The first card on the top three for health is the Four of Wands. The middle card for the top is the Princess of Pentacles again. So what you're doing for work is directly influencing not only your relationships, but your health as well. Your final card on the top three is the Five of Swords. On the bottom, the Hanged Man. The middle one is the Wheel of Fortune. And your final card is the Queen of Pentacles. So what I'm getting from this is that your health is actually stabilizing now. Your health may have actually been worse recently than it is now. Or things were, if you did have health issues, they were long and drawn out, but now they're stabilizing. A lot of your health issues have been because of having to deal with possibly difficult people, and I'm getting specifically at work or just surrounding you. I'm not necessarily getting that this is from relationships, but it could be too. You would know more than me. I'm getting things like stress, headaches, feeling as though you're being verbally attacked, or you're actually criticizing yourself internally way too harshly. I'm getting that your health is dramatically changing for the better and will continue to do so as long as you embrace new methods of handling crisis or situations in your life, especially if they've been drawn out way longer than you thought that they would be. And a lot of the stabilization of your health can be through introspection, paying attention to your dreams and inner promptings, as well as making a concentrated effort to stay positive with your thinking patterns rather than criticizing yourself too much or expecting the worst in situations, especially involving being overpowered by other people's wills. And this kind of reminds me of your general reading when it was saying that you need to speak up or you need to lay down your boundaries more or stand in your power. If you can overcome, transmute, and let go of anything that holds you back in your own mind, as well as any ways that people are behaving towards you that are holding you back, things are about to get a lot better, and your health is going to stabilize, and you're going to feel comfortable in your own skin. If there were health issues that are getting better now, it was mainly mental or with headaches or stress or not enough rest, but also possibly to do with your lower back, your hips, or your feet. It's important for you to cultivate not only external boundaries with other people, but also boundaries with yourself on what you will do in your own head concerning your health or how you're going about thinking about things. And also spending time with children, whether they're at your work or in your home, or grandchildren or actual children. This will significantly help your health. Okay, that's what I got. Hopefully this helped or made sense in some way, and I'll see you in August.